How welfare reform can promote work, savings, and investment. Welfare reform is a term that refers to changes in the social safety net programs that provide assistance to low-income families and individuals. Welfare reform can have various effects on work, savings, and investment, depending on the design and implementation of the policies. One of the main goals of welfare reform is to encourage work among welfare recipients by imposing work requirements, time limits, sanctions, and incentives. Work can have positive effects on the well-being of individuals and families by increasing their income, self-esteem, and self-reliance. Work can also reduce the dependency on public assistance and the fiscal burden on taxpayers. However, work alone may not be enough to lift families out of poverty and ensure their long-term economic security. Welfare reform can also affect the savings and investment behavior of low-income households, which are crucial for building human and physical capital and enhancing productivity and growth. Savings can be defined as the difference between income and consumption. Savings can be used for various purposes, such as paying off debts, accumulating assets, preparing for emergencies, or investing in education or business opportunities. Savings can also provide a buffer against income shocks and reduce the need for public assistance. Investment can be defined as the purchase of goods or services that are expected to generate future returns. Investment can take various forms, such as physical capital, example, machinery, equipment, buildings, human capital, example, education, training, health, or financial capital, example, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Investment can increase the productive capacity of individuals and firms and contribute to economic growth and development. Welfare reform can promote savings and investment among low-income households in several ways. First, by reducing the generosity and duration of welfare benefits, welfare reform can create an incentive for households to save more and spend less in order to smooth their consumption over time and cope with potential income losses. Second, by requiring or encouraging work among welfare recipients, welfare reform can increase their income and disposable income, which can enable them to save more and invest more. Third, by providing or expanding work support programs, such as the Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC, child care subsidies, food stamps, health insurance, and child tax credit, welfare reform can increase the net returns to work and reduce the effective tax rate on earnings, which can stimulate savings and investment. Fourth, by offering or facilitating access to financial education, counseling, literacy, and asset-building programs, such as individual development accounts, IDAs, welfare reform can enhance the financial knowledge and skills of low-income households and help them make better decisions about saving and investing. The empirical evidence on the effects of welfare reform on work, savings, and investment is mixed and inconclusive. Some studies have found positive effects of welfare reform on employment rates, earnings, savings, asset accumulation, education, and business ownership among low-income households. Other studies have found negative or negligible effects of welfare reform on labor force participation, income, poverty, consumption, wealth, health insurance coverage, and retirement savings among low-income households. The variation in the findings may reflect differences in the data sources, methods, time periods, policy parameters, outcome measures, and population groups used in the analyses. In conclusion, welfare reform can have both positive and negative effects on work, savings, and investment among low-income households. The net impact of welfare reform depends on the balance between the costs and benefits of the policies for different groups of individuals and families. Welfare reform should be designed and implemented in a way that maximizes the potential benefits of work while minimizing the potential risks of poverty and hardship. Welfare reform should also be complemented by other policies that support the savings and investment behavior of low-income households and enhance their opportunities for economic mobility.